And I guess we're live. Oh my gosh, guys, I am so excited to be here today. And I don't know who's all watching, who's all joining me. It is a day of celebration because my new book, Owning Our Game, Female Athlete Stories of Strength, Beauty, and Athleticism, is finally live. And so I am super, super excited that you are here to celebrate with me today. And I wanted to take this first live this morning to kind of share a little bit about why did I even do this book. So tell me first of all that you're here, because I don't want to just talk to myself. That is always the worst thing to do. So let me know you are. And maybe I need to start all over again because it's just now telling me that I am live, and I think I might just want to make sure again. Welcome to helping me celebrate the launch of my new coffee table book, Owning Our Game, Female Athlete Stories of Strength, Beauty, and Athleticism. This book could not have happened without, again, like in a tremendous effort of all the athletes who are willing to show up with me, who are willing to get in front of my camera, trust me in the process, because let me tell you, a lot of the things I did with them, I did for the first time ever. And that is really how this whole project started. As a photographer, you kind of get into a creative rut. So I wanted to challenge myself 2 years ago. It was like beginning of 2020. We were all in this new vision. Everything was kind of exciting. What else do we want to do? And I'm like, okay, I want to challenge myself. I want to try something new. I want to see if I can improve my technical abilities. Hey, Mary Beth. Hi, Lori. Hi, Tina. So awesome to see you guys. Thanks for being here. I wanted to challenge myself. So technically, what can I do to really improve my photography? But then also creatively, what can I do again to do more storytelling, have images that are just maybe a little bit, take them up a notch from what I've done before. So when I threw out this idea, I asked my friend Teresa Fackler. She owns Envision Train, and she's actually coming on board for an interview at 1 p.m. today. So if you want to hear her story, but she was the first one willing to work with me. And if you have worked with me in the past, when I do my branding photography, to me, it's all about storytelling. But I wanted to figure out, like, what is it about someone in sports that needed to be, okay, what do I pull out, right? I'm not sure if you ever look at sports magazines, if you see anything on TV or in ads, it's these perfectly hair, everything in place, nothing out of shape, women who look amazing, who win gold medals and all of that. But that's not the women I'm around. Those are not the women that I usually hang out with. But I realize there are so many women who do sports, who absolutely love what they do. And they are hardcore doing and exercising and doing the fitness every single day of their life. And so when I got to work with Teresa, I was like, there's more to this. So I asked her, can I still do my technical stuff? Like really trying to figure out like what it is about boxing, right? I had never boxed before, so I didn't know all the ins and outs of boxing. But I wanted to know what it is. And so I did my research. She gave me some tips and ideas of what she was looking for in her images. But then it was all about, what is it about your story? And that is what sort of helped me take this whole project from just challenging myself to, when I heard that first story, realizing there is such a depth that goes and that has permeated who each of my athletes is, who they have become today because of the amazing tenacity of doing the sport, of just getting into something that they absolutely love. And it's not about a particular sport. It's about finding something that you can relate to. There's something that you absolutely love. I know Barbara is listening in. She's a dancer, ballroom and swing and salsa. She's one of my athletes in the book. And when I got to watch her dance and I could just see the transformation happen in front of my eyes, that is what I wanted to capture. It was those moments where I could see that something was turned off to the outside and you were able to just embrace and get into the depth of what you're doing. Mary Beth, the same thing. She is an instructor for Les Mills or still does the flow. And she asked me, like, what do you want me to do? And I said, just take me through your flow. I want to see exactly what you're doing so I can sort of grab your moments. It's all about the moments in between, the moments when you forget that I'm even there. They forgot that I was taking pictures. It was all about them being absorbed in the sport, showcasing who they are. And you know what? Hair flying, there was sweat dripping, they were out of breath, they were not staged images. So I would love to hear if you have anything in particular you would like to know about the process and what kind of sports I ended up doing. So put them in the comments. I would love to hear. So thank you so much, Nicole, for your saying that I'm a talented photographer. I really, really love that. And Jean, I'm great to see you here. Lori, again, I'm so excited to have all of you ladies with me this morning, because this definitely turned into more of a passion project than I ever anticipated. Really, really moved away from just the technical, even though the technical piece ended up being a huge part of what I was doing, because I really had to dive into what it meant for each of my athletes. Like, what is their environment? Like going into a boxing studio, I have swimmers in my book. So that also meant going underwater. I had to buy myself some new equipment, learn how to take my camera underwater and trust that whole process. Not panicking, not panicking that I would lose my camera in the depths of the pool, and going up on a rock climbing wall with my rock climber, Deb Almberg. So it was like all these new environments that challenged me as I was watching how my athletes were challenging themselves. And Mary Beth just commented, yes, hair was flying and the sweat was dripping. But we got still. When I look at your images, Mary Beth, it's again, there is a calm and an absolute just serenity when I watched you actually do your Les Mills flow. There was just such a peace. And I think the other piece that I noticed with all of you women in there was the incredible strength. I mean, when, again, like I've done yoga, I've run. I actually grew up with a dad who's a track coach. And so I actually started doing track when I was 7. And I ended up being like, usually when, like first place, second and third place, they get a medal. I usually was 4th. When the first 6 ended up getting a medal, I was 7th. So I was good, but I was not amazing. And so I've always felt this connection with all of the amazing athletes out there who are trying and doing their best, who are in the sport because they love the sport. I think so many times we are so taken by, oh, we need to win that medal. We need to be up on the podium. We need to be the one who has all the praise for what you do. And then the rest of us who are maybe not the medal winners, we still love what we do. We still get so much out of the sport because it is so much of mindset changing, body changing, mind, body flow, all of those pieces that sort of come together for us. And that's why we're in it. I mean, obviously, it is nice to win a medal. I'm not going to say no to that. But there is more to that. And I would love to hear from you. If you do a sport, give me one word that you experience when you do your sport. If it's walking, if it's running, if it's dancing, if it's horseback riding, if it's boxing, there are so many different sports out there. What is it for you in one word that sort of encapsulates how you're feeling and what you're getting out of this beyond maybe just the physical fitness aspect? So I would absolutely love to hear some of your comments. Elizabeth said, like, I'm active, not athletic. Oh, I love that. I'm not great at it, but I love it. Oh my, that's so good. Mary Beth says peace. But then Elizabeth says again, but I can own the athleticism now too. And that, I think that is really, Elizabeth, you're nailing it. That is kind of what we're hoping to do with this book, is that we can reach all of us women, and hopefully the men too, but I'm really speaking specifically to us women here, that we can get beyond, I need to look and feel a certain way in order to feel that I am an athlete. If I'm walking for half an hour outdoors and I do this on a regular basis, and it gives me the confidence, it gives me joy. Jenny says like joy, relief, happiness. Janine says confidence. Maribeth said peace. All of those things is what we want to feel, because that in the end is what really reaches into the rest of our day. I think Dana Hirsch, she is my long distance marathon runner in the book. And she talks about like going out in the morning, and she often, I mean, her runs are usually early in the morning before work. She said, like, I just love the expanse, like looking at the sky in front of me, the expanse of nature. And it just transforms who I am. And it has like an impact on the rest of my day. And that's actually the other thing I would like to ask you is like, how does that affect you? So when you find this peace, when you find this joy and relief and confidence, how does this play out in your day-to-day life? Can you give me just like a one word or just a quick sentence on how does that transform how you're interacting maybe with coworkers, your own mindset heading into your workday, how you're interacting with your children, your partners, your clients, how you go about just like in general, how you go about your everyday sort of activities. Because I know for myself, when I love to do folk dancing. That's the thing. You will see me smile the entire time I'm out there on the dancing with my other dancers out there. It's like, it's joy. It's just pure bliss when I'm out there doing this. And doesn't it take you somewhere where all of a sudden, like you're much more of a smiley person when you talk to the person beside you? You're reacting in a way that is much more positive and forgiving. I like what Mary Beth says, it makes my brain sharper. Janine says, if you have a body, you are an athlete, go and do anything active. Absolutely, Janine. I know you were just hiking, I think. I saw some pictures on Facebook where you were out and about and doing that. So it's again, there are so many different ways where we can engage. So what I've been trying to do with my book, and I'm trying to figure out, like, get all the glare here, but it's stories of 14 female athletes, professional, non-professional. That was really not the point of the book. The point was to bring out what it is that makes this sport special to them. And for some of these women, it was a lifelong participation in the sport. For others, they came to it out of necessity, out of a need, out of a traumatic experience in their life, and they somehow got into the sport, and it just changed again their outlook and how they've been able to come out of whatever the situation is. And we're talking abuse, we're talking eating disorders, we're talking chronic illnesses, we're talking just being sucked into it in a way. Like for some of them, it was actually interesting. For some, they got put in like they were 3 years old and their parents said, you're doing this. And so sometimes you do, sometimes you get out of it, and sometimes you come back again, which I find kind of interesting in some of those stories too. So my hope is that you will pick up a copy. You can find the book at owningourgame.com, which actually takes you over to my website, but it was shorter to use the title of the book for the link. So owningourgame.com is where you can find the book. Get a copy for yourself, but also share it with someone else, because I feel the stories in there are life-changing. They are stories of heart, stories of perseverance, stories of strength, of transformation, and they are stories of joy. And I feel like, to me, that is probably the most important in all of this, is that there's just a joy that permeates. And for me to be able to get to watch the women do what they do so well was just an absolute gift. I'm just reading here. Jenny says, like, it changes my spirit. So when she does her sport, my inner energy throughout the remaining of the day. So exactly, your inner energy so much is not about the perfect hair, the perfect body. It is about what the changes do on the inside of you and how you can then transform your day and your interactions with anyone you encounter. So I had promised that I would keep these interviews short, or I'm interviewing myself. So, but I hope that you will again join me later at 11 a.m. I invited my editor, Dorothy Wisniewski. She is actually not an editor. She is a copywriter, and I've worked with her before. And I want her to tell you why she ended up saying yes to editing my book, or editing the stories that the women shared with me, because I'm not a writer myself. So these stories are really from the women who were willing to be photographed by me. The book is 50% images, 50% stories interwoven with the athletes' images. So you can really feel and get a sense of who they are. And these stories needed space. Maybe backing up again, when I started the book, I had hoped to maybe do a gallery exhibition. And the pandemic certainly put a stop to all of that. And I'm glad it did, because it allowed me to sort of refocus and reimagine how the storytelling needed to happen. Because yes, obviously I wanted to showcase the portraiture that I did of the women, but I also wanted to make sure that the stories would have just as much space as the images did, because they needed to be part of that whole experience that you're getting from what the athletes are sharing. And an exhibition would not have done this justice. So this coffee table book is a much, much better place for the stories and for the portraits all in one space. And I also feel like for my women, and I think for all of you, to have the book in your hand, to have it on your coffee table, so you can share it with others, that you can, again, someone said like, oh, great Christmas gift for girlfriends. I love that. And can only say, yes, please do. I mean, from birthday gifts to just giving it when you know someone maybe needs a little bit of a lift, and say, you know what, you are good. You are already transformed. You are amazing. You are the woman who you are today. So embrace who you are and enjoy reading it. I would love to get feedback once you have your books, because I would love to hear which stories really, really speak to you. And even if it's just one of the stories, I hope it will have an impact on your life, and it will have an impact on someone else's life. So again, thank you so much. I said 11 a.m. if you want to hear Dorothy's, why she got into helping me with editing. And then at 1 p.m. we'll go live again. And actually, Teresa Factor will be my guest, because like I said, she is the cover girl. And she was also, because she was my first athlete. That's the reason why she's on the cover here. But she's going to share, and she helped me shape the direction of the book. So of where we're actually headed with this. So again, owningourgame.com is where you can find and order your copies. Or if you're coming out to the Barnstormers, actually tonight, I will be there autographing books and selling as well. Thank you again so much for joining me. And I all hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. Take care.